passion, I might have a toast with you. I'm feeling good, I'm feeling great, I'm terrific. We ain't taking no losses, we winning. Undefeated, check the percentage.
Yo, what is good, everybody, man? Sorry for the lateness, man. You know what I mean? Your boy had a meeting, which actually is tied to football and all that stuff. So I'm excused, y'all. You know what I mean? I'm excused, man. Leave me the hell alone. All right. But we here, man. Listen, man, tonight's gonna be special for a couple reasons. We do have a special guest calling in to talk some Minnesota Vikings football. You know what I'm saying? I think you guys are going to appreciate that. You guys are going to enjoy that, man. And I just wanted to talk about the state of the franchise on this good old hump day, man. The state of the franchise. All right. Now, some people may say it's good. Some people may say it's bad. Some people may be indifferent. I don't know. But shit, we going to find out tonight now, ain't we? Yeah, we definitely are, man. Shout out everybody in the building. Make sure you hit the like button, man. Shout out Angelo in the building. I see you, man. Shout out Luft. I see you, Luft. What's good with you? Shout out Purple and Gold Bars. Let's go, man. Shout out Joseph. What's good with you, man? I see you in the building, man. Shout out Chevy. I see you. Shout out to you. I see you in the building all day. Ed, what's good? We got Who Are You? My Ninja. He in the building, man. Let's go, man. Hey, appreciate you tapping in as always, man. That's a fact. Salif, what's good with you, Salif, man? Let's get it, man. Man, I mean, how you guys feel, man? You know, scale to 1 to 10, right? Scale 1 to 10, drop it in the chat. Scale 1 to 10. How do you guys feel about the Minnesota Vikings right now? Like your overall, 10 being you feel absolutely amazing. 1 being this team is going in the you know what, the garbage. You know what I'm saying? How do you feel right now? I'm excited to see what you guys are feeling right now, man, from a scale 1 to 10, man. Let's drop it in the chat here. I'm gonna tell you right now, man, I'm at like a 7. I'm at like a 7. Me and Ed on the same page, man. And look, man, I know 7 is always the go-to because it's not the middle. It's not the top. It's in between the top and the middle. You know what I mean? So everybody goes to 7. You know, I've talked about this before. Usually when you tell somebody, hey, on a scale of 1 to 10, what do you feel your looks are? You always tell them scale to 1 to 10, but you can't use 7. All right. So you know what I mean? You can't use 7 because 7's easy to go to. But me and Ed, I'm with you, man. I'm about a 7. I'm about a 7. Shout out Norse Fierce in the building, man. Let's go. Let's go, Norse. We got us a special Norris. Is Jordan working with you? Are y'all working? I think y'all are working together, ain't you? Man, look, man, I'm gonna tell you this, man. when it comes to injuries on this football team this year, and I talked about this on the last show. Shout out Nathan. I see you in the building, man. Shout out to you, Skull Vikings, baby. Let's go. When it comes to injuries this year, man, this year right here has not been good for the Minnesota Vikings. I mean, this just hasn't been a good year. It just is what it is, man. Like we just can't win. We just can't win. You know what I mean? So it's one of those deals. It's one of those deals where it's just like what can we do, man? Hold on, let me text somebody real quick. My special guest, man. Let's see, give me. Yeah, we just can't, you know. Better now than in the playoffs. Yeah, but we also want to make sure that our team, for one, can stay healthy, through or can get healthy heading into the playoff, like to get us in the playoffs. That's another thing too, because the truth of the matter is not having these players, these valuable players, Van Ginkel, getting that news. Van Ginkel might not play for another month or so. You know, neck injury, just not good. All right, it's just not good. That's just what it is. We need to get Blake Cashman back out there. I mean, shit, man, the list goes on. The offensive line is just, that's a whole nother story. It's just in shambles. The offensive line is just in shambles. Like in shambles, bruh. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just a weird year, man. I feel like last year we were blessed to not have to face a ton of injuries. And this year, the NFL said, you know what? F you, bruh. Take this. You know what I mean? Like, take this, Vikings fans. Y'all wanted to talk shit last year while everybody else was banged up and you guys were able to stay healthy. Guess what? We got something for you. Here you go. And just handed us the injury, man. It's just it's not good. Um, I'm trying to pull up some stuff real quick. I'm gonna pull up X and then we're gonna have our special guest call in here. Because there was something that I seen and I want to talk about it. Here we go. I'm gonna pull it up right now. Y'all give me 1 second. We're gonna get our special guest on here to talk about the state of the Minnesota Vikings because I want another perspective, man. You know what I mean? I want somebody else that watches the team just like me, that has passion about this team just like me and you know, somebody who sits there each and every Sunday, each and every Thursday, each and every Monday and watches our team and goes into it with the hope that we are going to handle business and you know we go through the heartbreak together, man. So I can't wait to get him on. Y'all are gonna be. I'm not gonna tell you who he is until he calls in, but he's about to call in like 5 more minutes. But I just wanted to look at this real quick, right? The injury report, bro, this week. I didn't even look at it yet. Tyler Batty, full participant. So Tyler Batty does that mean Tyler Batty may be playing this week? Tyler Batty? I don't know, man. Christian Darrisaw did not participate. Not an injury, just rest. Okay. We got CJ Ham with the knee, full participant. All right, let's go. Donovan Jackson, wrist, he's out. Michael Juergens, hamstring, he's out. First of all, who is our Michael Juergens got a hamstring, bro? Who's our other offensive lineman? Who's our next center? Who's playing center, bro? Can somebody tell me? Because I'm lost, bro. I don't know. Can somebody drop it in the chat? What Luff say, man? Hold up, Luff. I got you, man. Let me read your comment real quick because I feel like you said something that needs to. Okay, shit. I'm gonna think as of week 3. That's the feeling. Probably a 5. Injuries are killing us. No, facts, Luff. You ain't lying, OG. Hey, OG talking, man. OG talking, man. Cody said we are like the Lions with all these damn injuries. Facts. It is. Shout out Maddie, man. I see you in the building, Maddie, man. Appreciate you. Purple and Gold Bar said, I believe we continue to stay afloat. At the right time, we will get fully healthy and start looking like the team we are on paper. Let's go, man. Let's go, man. Hey, we need it. Shout out Dylan in the building, man. I see you, my guy. He said, rap, our offensive line coach has to go, man. No, that's a fact, man. Chris Cooper got to get the fuck out of here, man. No, I'm being honest with you, bro. Joe, okay, there you go. Joe Huber, man. I think Delton really liked him. I think Delton was talking about him and saying how he was good. So we'll see what's up with that. Shout out Cody, man. I see you, man. How y'all feel about Huber, man? Y'all think he gonna hold it down? I see disaster. I'm gonna keep it real. I see disaster, bro, but I might be tripping. I see disaster though. Straight up. I see disaster, bro. I'm gonna keep it real with you. Who is the lineman we just signed to the practice squad? I don't know. Some dude I seen him in a Cowboys jersey. I have no fucking idea who this guy. You know, I'm to the point now, man, where I'm just like, yo, I'm just living now, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just a Vikings fan, just going through the motions now, bro. Like, for real. And that's not to say that. I don't think we're gonna still be good this season, or I don't think we're gonna win games. Like, right now, there's so much going on, bro, and it's not going in our favor to the point where I don't want to stress out about it anymore. Hey, look, we're 2-2. We're 500. That's the silver lining. We're 500. We got a chance to go play a team in the Browns, which are beatable. You know, we can beat the Browns. It's the Browns. We can come out of this. Cross the pond trip over a game over 500, and I'm okay with that. And I think we need to. You need to beat the Browns. It's the Browns. You know what I mean? Shout out Nazir. I see you in the building, man. Shout out to you. Appreciate you tapping in. Delt, go. Let's go. Yo, Rant, if KOC was the OC, we'd be man, if KOC was the OC, yeah, he'd be out of here. Because we would probably imagine KOC being the offensive coordinator right now on a Mike Zimmer's ran team. Oh man, KOC would have been he would have been gone. You know what I mean? Like this year, this week right here, they would have been like, listen, we almost were gonna leave him in London, but you know what? We said, nah, we'll wait till we get back in the States just because we kind of didn't. We felt like the time wasn't right to do it in London because we're all across the pond. But right when we touched back down in Minnesota, he was out of there. You know what I mean? As we were walking off the plane, we told him that that was it. He coached his last game. You know what I'm saying? Like for real. That was it, man. Shout out everybody in the building, man. I'm about to get it. I'm about to get it, man. I'm about to text my guy and tell him that he can call in. We got enough charge there. Let's go, man. Let's go. Shout out to my guy, man. We about to get him to call in here, man. I just sent the message, man. The heads up to let's get it popping, man. I'm excited about this, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm excited about this. Jordan.
Hey, Rep, how's it going?
Man, what's going on, man? Super excited to have you on the show tonight, first and foremost, man. Thank you for making time to come on the show, first of all.
No, thank you, man. I got to appreciate you and your opportunity and, the time you're giving me here. I really do appreciate that.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. You want everybody to know who you are in the chat really quick? Is it okay to let everybody know who you are? You want to keep that a secret? It's up to you, bro.
Honestly, we could probably hold off and
All right,
see.
we're gonna hold off. Let's hold off.
Yeah, we'll hold off.
Let's hold off. It's a mystery, y'all. Y'all don't even know who's on the other side of this line, but I'm gonna tell you, he's super important, to me, due to another person. So let's just leave it there. But man, Jordan, man, let's get into what we came to do, bro. And I said, like, you can ask me any questions you have too, but I'm very, very excited and kind of concerned and not in a bad way, but like to hear what you think about our Minnesota Vikings right now, bro. Like,
oh man, I gave Gary some words, or as Kobe King said in his preseason interview, I gave them my words.
Yeah.
Yeah. So before we start with anything, I just like to, put another exclamation point in how awesome Skullfest was and getting to show up there. It was unforgettable getting to meet you guys and see everything. And it was awesome. I really appreciate that. Everybody was cool.
Absolutely, bro. I can't wait till next year, bro. I mean, it's going to be another, again and again, man. This is the third year, and I appreciate you coming this time, bro. It was amazing. I wish I can like sit down with everybody, but as you see, you were there, probably watching and looking at everything going on. It's hard for me to really be able to like sit down with everybody I would love to sit down with everybody for like 30 minutes to an hour and just really get to know and really talk football. But unfortunately, I'm getting pulled 1,000 different directions, which I'm blessed. I'm not complaining at all. But I really appreciate everybody that came out, man, and especially you, man. It was great to see you out there, man. That shit hyped me up, man, when I seen you pull up. For sure.
Oh man, I just wish. You know what? Ask her. I'll just tell everybody who I am. So it'd just be easier for you and me. There's no reason to hide it. It's
okay. All right. Hey, look, man, I wanted to respect it. I'm like, yo, because some people, I get it. You know what I mean? I get it. But like, all right, man. So look, I'll let them know this right here. And you know how important your pops is to me, bro. Like, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart, that your pops is somebody who I have so much respect for, bro. And I've built such a strong relationship with, and him just being so selfless, you know what I'm saying? And creating these plaques for the community and always in the chat supporting me, man. And I cannot thank him enough. Everybody, this is Norse's son, Jordan, man, who I'm telling you right now knows his ball. And I was told I need to get him on Vocal Vike to talk some Minnesota Vikings. And you know what? I didn't waste any time. It's crazy, Jordan. Gary texted me, Gary called me on like a Wednesday or something, I think, after Skullfest. And then I think I text your pops and was like, yo, you think, hey, I'm gonna reach out, give Jordan my number, boom, boom, boom. And like I was on it instantly. Like the moment I hung up the phone with Gary, because Gary was like, yo, you have to get Jordan on. Like, trust me, man, you have to get him on. So I'm like, say no more. Let's do it. Like, for real, bro. But like, again, just shout out to your pops. Shout out to you, man. I love your pops, man. Like he's He's one of them ones, man. That's a fact, man. Let's go. Drop a Norse in the chat, man. Let's get it, man. Hey, for sure, man. But let's get to it, Jordan.
Yeah. Also, just one more thing. I would also just like to take the second to remind everybody why we're here before we start getting into the state of, the Vikings. I really want to talk about this too, man. But, we're here for the purple and gold, the love for it, but also this awesome little community online that's grown. And I've seen it. I've watched, I've lurked in the background. I've seen the way my dad engages with it and how much fun he has and how cool all you guys were. And then seeing it in person at Skullfest was just incredible. Seeing it from you, from Gary, Skull Mafia, SK, Two Tone, Two Evil, Prince, Casey, even Coach UP was there. Everybody was pretty darn cool, man. So that was just awesome. So, just take a moment. I want everybody to realize why we're here, because when these hot takes start boiling over, after that pitiful performance we've been subjected to, man, like, and I've got some things that might be a little sharp to say. So
let's go.
I just want that out there that, we're here for a reason.
Let's go.
And it doesn't need to be destructive. All right. It's constructive.
Let's go, man. Let's give Jordan and Norris 2 claps and a Ricky, man. Let's get it, man. Before we get into it. Let's go, man. Shout out Eric from New Mexico, Florinda and Raquel. I see you in the building. Shout out Steve. I see all y'all, man. Y'all make sure to hit the like button, man, and let's give Jordan the floor. And he has some questions for me, too. So we're going to have a good conversation tonight and talk about the state of our damn team, man. It is what it is, man. Let's get into it, man. So, like, what's your feeling, Jordan? Like right now on this hump day, Wednesday, what is it, the first? It's the first of the month. How you feeling about the Minnesota Vikings, man?
I was feeling, a little hopeful before you showed that injury report, but seeing that, and I'm like, oh man, where is everybody? Are we gonna be employing just, oh yeah, let's go find a big dude off the street and throw him in there? Like, what's going on, man?
Man, I was talking about like last year, bro. If you and I know you do remember last year, we were like, yo, we don't really have any injuries. I feel like there was multiple weeks last year where the injury report was clean. Like there may have been like 1 or 2 players on there where I feel like even in the past, there's always seems like there's always like 4 or 5. Even if they're still gonna play, like they're still on there with something getting dinged up. But last year was just different. I just felt like it was one of the cleanest years as far as injury goes from what I remember, right? And this year, oh man, I'm talking about, bro. It has been ridiculous, man, and they keep piling and keep piling and keep piling. I don't know what we're going to do, Jordan.
It definitely feels worse this year, but last year, before we even started the season, we lost both our corners, one to an unfortunate accident, and then we lost Blackman, and then we lost JJ, and then we go into the season, and then we lose what's it? I don't know if we lost Van Ginkel yet.
But then
we lost Darisaw, and then Cashman was out for a couple weeks, and that hurt us bad. I don't know if Ginkel was out for a little bit again. I think he may have been. But yeah, no, it was rough.
So
man.
I feel like it was clean, but now that you reminded me of all the injuries we actually did have. I mean, last year wasn't the best, I guess. For some reason, maybe it was just because we were winning so many games, like it masked out. You know how when you're winning, man. When you're winning, man, it masks it.
It does. And you know what? That's exactly what I want to talk about. I want to walk through the last couple years, because when you start actually breaking it down, this horrible display is so painfully obvious that you realize the foundations of this team at the very joints seem to be broken down, man. It's ugly. Yeah. So I'm sitting here looking at it, and it's like a couple of years ago, it's like, okay, KOC has time to grow. Then it was last year, and it's like, hey, great successful season. Hopefully he'll adjust next year when we're here for real. And then now we're here, and it's obvious that we're more than just a quarterback away from winning, dude. Mm-hmm. It's not looking good. So, yeah, I do want to get into that, because you're right. In your honeymoon phase is over video, that O-line coach and KOC, somebody's got to step up. Somebody's got to go. But I'm telling you right now, everything is not A-OK for KOC.
Hey, let's go, man. My boy's spitting right now. You hear me? Let's go. Hey, so and I gotta ask you, Jordan, when we first got KOC, right? Like, were you, because we had the Harbaugh and we had KOC on the board at the same time. It was one or the other is what it was looking like. How did you feel? Who did you want to go with at that moment?
Oh man, it's difficult. And knowing what I know now, I have to take out some of it. But just some of the background on that situation was like Harbaugh went in, he flew out there, and then he left like knowing, expecting that he got the job. So it's not just that we chose KLC; it's almost like we shafted Harbaugh in order to pick KOC. And then we're sitting here at KOC. I don't know, man. It's hard to say at the time. Hindsight's 2020. But if you're talking just good football
Yeah.
and breaking the Vikings curse, the Vikings culture, that's just not good. It's just I'll get into that. Trust me.
Yeah.
But just to keep it short, I think Harbaugh would have done a better job at breaking that at the time. I know you're on KLC's train from the start,
Yeah.
and that you're getting worn down here, and I really don't want to do that to you, but
Yeah.
there's some things that need to be talked about, so at least we know what to look at to see if he improves.
Right.
So
Yeah, no,
we'll be
I
on that.
get it, bro. Like I tried to hang on as long as I could. And I want to make it clear that I'm still gonna be considered a KOC guy. Real quick, Jordan. Let me do this. Eric, man, happy birthday to Raquel. Happy birthday to you. Hey, we appreciate you celebrating your birthday watching Vocal Vike. Now that's platinum right there. Vocal Vike with RAP and Jordan right now talking Minnesota Vikings football, and you here celebrating with us. Happy birthday to you. Hope you have a great one and many more to come. But Jordan, man, I'm considered KOC guy still today on October 1st. I am, right? But like it's this week, man. I just think, and maybe it just started from after week one. Week one, I'm going into it with all type of optimism. Hey, this is gonna be great. This, that, and the third. After that, man, I don't know, man. It's just starting to wear on me. I'm hearing Realistic Randy talk about it. I'm hearing other people in the chat, our community talk about it. Like, Rap, you kind of blind to the fact that this dude cannot call plays, bruh. And for some reason, I don't know why, I just feel like it's not that bad. But now I'm starting to really lock in and stop being blinded by he's a good leader, but when it comes to actually situational football, he's looking like he sucks at it. You know what I mean? And that is the reality. And I have to start holding on to that. And I don't want to get to the point where we start having curb sessions with him. But it is
Well,
what it
I
is, man.
think
We
you're
might have
fair.
to.
I think you're fair, and I see exactly why you're still on the train for so long. Because like when I start breaking this stuff down, you'll see that there was hope. There are these glimmers. Like for example, there'll be like this play KOC drafts up and gets the receivers to run by each other and scrape off protection on one of them to leave one wide open. Brilliant. That looks great. But then there's also these moments where he'll just call this cutesy play to get Dobbs blown the hell up like a challenger, and then he's done. He just falls, crashes, man. So, but like, listen, if you think you're optimistic, all right, I'm a prove to everybody here. Just get it out of the way that I'm not just a hater. All right,
Right.
I've been cautiously optimistic. So let me start off with I'm gonna pull a Gary here. Let me ask you this. All right,
Okay.
let me ask you if you think that I'm out of pocket for this statement or this belief, for
Okay.
believing that the Vikings could have won every single game in the 2023 7-10 season with the rosters they had going into each week, injuries included. That means no Cousins, no Jettas, no TJ when they were out. Am I out of pocket for thinking that every single one of those games were winnable?
All right, hold on. Give me a second because I'm trying to think if we played anybody, trying to remember if we played anybody that was like crazy good.
I'll give you a hint. Every single game but the last two were
Was a
one
one score.
possession games.
Yeah,
Yep.
they were all like down to the wire. Yeah. And shit. So what? And I know you're specifically talking about 2023, but what about 2022 as well with Kirk? Do you feel the same way about that year too, though? Are both of them lumped, or is it just the 2023 year?
I think 22 was a roller coaster that sapped me and my dad and other jaded fans alike back into it, and
Okay.
we just got hooked. And so we were half out at the time, so it was
Okay.
really hard to say.
So
But looking at
2023 was the year though that you were like, all
yeah,
right, okay.
I'm sitting here looking at that, and this is an assessment that I came to at the end of the season, but just
Yeah.
hindsight, looking
So
at it.
so look, I won't say you're out of pocket. I won't say you're out of pocket, man. And if you were, I would tell you, bro. I don't mind telling you that I feel like that because at the end of the day, it's an opinion thing, anyways. But I am curious to hear why you feel the way you feel like we could have won every
All right,
single
let's
game.
break it down.
Yeah, that would be great. I want to hear it.
Yeah, just in perspective, like objectively, we could have. Everybody could do it, right? It's possible that many teams could do this if everything just goes the right way, obviously.
Right,
And if we did it, we would objectively be the biggest undefeated frauds in history and missed out on JJ McCarthy, right?
right.
That's fair. But as a fan, watching week to week, seeing every single one of those games within reach turn into one score losses,
Mhm.
half of which had no run game, well, until the blowout versus the Packers at home, when the defense and O-line just gave up on Jaron Hall and
True.
effectively throwing another Kwesi pick to the Wolves.
Mhm.
The last game versus the Lions was just a foregone conclusion for a thoroughly demoralized team. Of course, they got blown out, right?
Right.
But
Yep.
again, if the whole other season was changed, those last two games would have been completely different and probably also within reach.
Mhm.
So again, we saw week in, week out, KOC refusing to move off of Madison, for example, actively cost us games, as well as baffling play calling, absence of short pass games, still
Ooh.
turnovers, penalties, cutesy play designs, all the same old, costing us winnable game after winnable game. Remember, this was an 0-3 start, and then it went to looking like Cousins was making an MVP run by week 6 with weekly buzz over his numbers
Mhm.
before a season ending injury in week 8. And then week 9, we would see Dobbs, and he just seemed to get worse as he learned the playbook.
Yeah.
Or did he get worse the tighter KOC's grip got on him? That's the question.
Ooh, boy, you cooking, boy. Hey, you making us
Yeah.
think now. Holy. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
So then I would even go so far as to say that at the beginning of his third start at Denver marked the fall back to earth for the Pastronaut when KOC called that cutesy play that got him blown up
Mhm.
on the sideline. Uh, you know, I- it's hard to say, but that really looks like the turning point where he just came right back down to earth. He looked mortal, and then the play calling probably got tight because as you play a player, there's more film, so teams have more to work on, but his dual threat ability fell to the wayside for the play calling that KLC wanted instead of what, Dobbs could do. And then, KC continued to push Madison most of the time. There's a couple of Chandler breakouts, and that's why we're mad about it, even though we don't want him now. At the time, those Chandler breakouts gave us hope. And like, why the hell are you playing Madison? Why does he have the starting role? So you know what? Cost us game after game, and what was looking like the Captain Kirk in the Enterprise within a month turned into something like a Challenger explosion going into the Week 13 bye. And oh, did you think it was over? No, the Vikings would return and give us a suck off of all time with a 3-0 win at Vegas, where the scoreboard sat 0-0 below the 2-minute warning.
Yeah.
They
Dang.
really did give us one of the seasons of all time to follow up the 22 roller coaster. But again, taking everything into consideration, it is not insane to say KLC, if he'd upped his play calling, his discipline, instead of being the one out coached, every game was entirely winnable. So think of the mental impact that has on, just watching that week to week and seeing that you could do it, even with these broken teams, man. It
Yeah.
was within reach.
Nah, you got a point, man. Like, so what would you all right, so and this is just me kind of just throwing another scenario out there as far as like for your whole breakdown, and I enjoyed that. I get it. What would you say about dang man, I'm trying to think. So every damn game, huh? And every game was a 1 possession. Boy, you right. But I gotta go back and look at all those scores and shit, too,
Yeah,
to
it's been
kind
a
of
couple of years. I'm a little
yeah.
rusty on every game, but I
It's
do
been a
know
couple
a
of
lot of
years. I
them are
gotta go
close.
back. But now that you say that, and we ended up what going 7-10 that year. Was it 7 yeah, 7-10? I think we won 7 games. I think
Yep.
won 7 games that year. Okay. Uh so I'm gonna say this. Would you say like as far as Kevin O'Connell as a whole, he got to the Minnesota Vikings in 2022. We're coming off a year where Mike Zimmer pretty much flushed the team. You could tell Mike Zimmer was checked, bro. Like he was checked
Mm.
out. You know what I mean? In my opinion, you may feel different, but in my opinion, I feel like Mike Zimmer was checked
No,
out.
we needed to move off of him years before that. That
Yeah,
was absolutely true.
like I say that, and this is just probably just the KOC guy in me, like just trying to look for silver lining and not really look for silver lining because the truth of the matter is we won a ton of football games with Kevin O'Connell. I think that's not a debate because that's actually facts and that's on paper. It's in the books already. But I say that to say, Jordan, do you think that Kevin O'Connell elevated the Minnesota Vikings at all, though? Like from that point, from moving off of Zimmer to him signing the contract, and we got the 2022 season, 2023, 2024. Like, do you feel like the Vikings are going in the right direction at all, or do you just feel like we're just kind of like we're just in stuck in purgatory right now?
You know, I think there was a definite step up, but it's really hard because, like, for example, I could start the 24, little season there. And there was this narrative that started at the beginning of that
Yeah,
where it was obvious that KOC had this elite um, scripted play calling ability for the team because
right.
we just blew off to the start for those first 3 games. And then the next two, we were just halfway dominant in those games. Then we just did the traditional Vikings thing of coasting. So as much as I want to say, that part was KLC. It just seems to be a Vikings culture thing just as much as that. But he definitely stepped us up. But I think he is in his own way, and that's what's most frustrating here is that these things are fixable. You can do it. But if KOC's ego, and that's what I want to use. I want to use that word ego because that's what seems to be the biggest thing in his way.
Yeah,
If his ego wasn't there and he just gotten over that, did some simple adjustments, maybe we would be leagues better because I think we could.
yeah.
That's the frustrating part.
Yeah. Like personnel wise, as far as like team, it's like, bro, we have the talent on the football team to be, we should be in the conversation of a top, I would say, I mean, to be fair, I don't want to sip the purple Kool-Aid, but I'm going to say we should be a top 5 team year in and year out. I mean, I think that's fair to say. Like I'm talking NFL, not just NFC, like NFL. I feel like we should just be a top 5 team year in and year out when you think about the personnel on this team, man. And that could be the Vikings fan in us that always think, how it is with fan bases. But I think me and you are having a realistic conversation here, and we're going to be okay with criticizing the team tonight. And look, y'all, we're not here to bury the team tonight or nothing like that. We're here to have a real conversation, like something that a lot of people need to do. I'm glad Jordan's on tonight because he's coming with the real conversations that need to be had, period. Like they need to be had. And I built the channel, that's what our channel is built off of, is having realistic conversations that are tough sometimes, but we got to talk about it, bro. And I'm the one who's a KOC guy and a JJ McCarthy guy. And if they're not performing, I have to come on camera and talk about it and say, bro, I was wrong, or hey, they need to do better. They're not exempt. That's all I'm saying. They're not
Well, like
exempt.
absolutely. Like, let me put it this way, man. When we drafted JJ, like that brief moment of anticipation and then euphoria, my dad and I jumped up. It felt like we'd finally been delivered.
Yeah,
And then we're looking at the pedigree of KOC and Flores. It honestly almost felt like the Vikings were in a position to inherit the spiritual success of the Patriots.
that's
Now,
good.
we're not talking about these coaches who walk into these teams and preach about the Patriots way, which, by the way, is why the Texans suck right now. I heard CJ Stroud talking about They're in the 2002 Patriots offense.
Oh my god.
What the fuck? What
is
are
that?
they doing,
And
man?
you can curse, Jordan. You know how I get, man. You know, yeah. Let it
I'm
out,
gonna
bro.
try and keep it minimal, because if
you.
I don't, I'll keep going, man.
I
So
got you, bro. I'm with you.
I'll try. But like, so when I saw that KOC gave us the potential for this, I
Yeah.
was on board. But then now we're looking at it, and it seems like you may not like hearing this, man, but
Right.
I can't even give KOC the scripted plays. I can't give him that. Why? Because those are made in an inside room in an offensive line or offensive meeting
Yeah.
behind the scenes. We don't know he came up with all those. For all we know, Wes Phillips had a bigger hand than him in those. So what can we give KOC? His culture? Well, like we saw in 23, man, when you have to go into that locker room every week and
Yeah.
look those players in the eyes and
Uh-huh.
explain to them the reason they lost completely winnable games week in and week out was because of you. See how long your culture lasts then.
Yeah. No, damn, you got a point, man. Holy, golly, man. Hey, Jordan, I'll say this. Hey, you really breaking the team down to the studs and shit for real, like you said, man, down to the joints and shit, the bone gristle, man, for real. And I like it. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I'm with all of it, man. And I like having these conversations. I'm gonna tell you right now, I gotta say this. When it comes to play calling this year, I'm definitely off board with KOC. But let me ask you, I feel like he is a great leader of men, though. Like, how do you feel about it? I just feel like if you look at like the locker room speeches and shit, right? And I know that's not going to be the sole reason on winning a Super Bowl and stuff, but like, I feel like he needs to be part of the success of like, I just feel like he needs to be the head coach. I just feel like maybe we do need to get an offensive coordinator, man. That's what I'm stuck on, Jordan, man. Like, honestly, bro, like, I'm like,
I think we just got to hand the duties down to Wes Phillips. You said that Sunday, didn't you?
Yeah, hand it to Wes Phillips, right? But
My dad and I have been preaching
how
that.
much do we trust Wes Phillips too, though? That's a whole
Uh,
nother conversation, though.
I don't
How
know.
much do we know about him?
That's fair, but at the same time, every time I saw him calling the plays, even if it was just preseason or the couple times when KOC was having his little press conference during the middle of a game, even when the offense is on the field, what's that, KOC?
Yeah.
But while they're doing that, and probably Wes Phillips is doing calling his plays in the background, the offense is humming.
Yeah.
The offense hums. So, it's not to say that KOC can't do good play calls, but my biggest issue is adjustment. It's almost like he knows. It was a joke to me for a year or so that KOC didn't know what a slant was because he never put Hawkinson on one or something like that. But he knows. He demonstrated just during the Bengals game that he knows what it is.
Yeah.
So the difference here is that for JJ, KOC didn't plan any quick, snappy plays. I guess. Why? I don't know. But then when it comes to Carson Wentz, and he knows who Carson Wentz is, he's got to get the ball out of his hands. He put those scripted plays in for him. So the main difference here between those two games and the way they played out with those two players is KOC is displayed. He knows how to draw them up, and he will only give them to you if it's part of the game plan from the beginning, which shows incompetence because he can't adjust mid-game when he needs to, even when he's been blown out by teams that do multiple times. And I can get into a couple of those examples. But then you also have the example of now I'm drawing a blank, but oh yeah, the quick passing play part just it tears his team apart when you don't know how to adjust and you're sitting there doing that. But then the other part of that seems to be almost malpractice because he didn't start JJ off with those. So it's both. He planned them for Wentz, so he knows how to do it.
Right.
But he won't adjust for it for JJ. And the fact that they weren't there from the start is now just evidence that he didn't plan them from the start. So it's both incompetence and malpractice almost.
Yeah.
Now that might be slander. I might be drawing some lines that don't need to be there.
Man, draw them, Jordan. Draw them, man.
but man, it's not looking good. But I got a question for you.
Yeah. Hey,
Because
real quick too, Jordan, before you ask the question, I would say this because I said this the other day. We're talking about what you're talking about now. Is I felt like I feel like this. I feel like Kevin O'Connell trusts JJ McCarthy so much. Like, because if we look at JJ McCarthy, right, and we've been following him these last 500 plus days before this day has come where he's actually playing. And it's like he's a leader, natural born. You hear all the players talk about how he carries himself in the locker room and down the hallways, and the way he cuts his grass is just championship style. You know what I mean? And look,
yeah,
man, I buy into it. All right. I'm on the front lines just like you are, just like your pops is. I mean, me and your pops always we hyping him up. Your pops is in the chat hyping him up. I'm on screen hyping him up. Like we're doing it, right? So we're part of it. But I feel like Kevin O'Connell also bought into that and really bought into it to the point where when the season started, Kevin O'Connell kind of ignored the fact that, hey, look, he's still a young quarterback, bro. Like, he's still a young quarterback. You still should get him a couple layups to get rolling. Don't come right out with these long, drawn out plays, man. These 15-yard, 20-yard routes, okay? And have him sit back in the pocket for, 4 or 5 seconds with an offensive line that didn't have Christian Darrisaw. You know what I mean? Plus, you got two new players that, yes, are they good on their last team? Absolutely. But we all know offensive linemen, it takes time to gel. It takes time to gel, man. Like, I mean, we're talking week, 2 weeks in, and you're doing all this extra stuff. And I think it's because the trust level he had in JJ McCarthy compared to a Wentz. Now that Wentz is in, he's like, oh, this is the backup. I've only been with him for a month. You know what I mean? Because he's only been on the team for a month or whatever the case may be. I'm going to make sure I get some quick plays, get the ball out of his hands, this, that, and the third. I think he felt like with JJ McCarthy, because of the relationship they built, that he can have the playbook wide open and run it the KO way, which is a way that a lot of us aren't fans of at the moment. You know what I mean? But I think that's just my opinion, obviously, and my judgment, just seeing how it went down, because the way it switched is just crazy. It's diabolical. The way it switched from how the offense was ran when JJ was out there to when Carson Wentz came out there. And we're like, yo, where was all this shit week 1 and 2? This shit could have been a lot simpler. I don't know,
absolutely.
man. But go ahead with your question,
I
man.
think
My
you're
bad, bro. That's
absolutely
my
right,
rent.
man. I actually didn't even think about that. As much as I've bought into JJ, and I think he's human too, right? Like,
Right.
for example, during the Falcons game, as much as 95% of that was on the O line and KLC and the defense or whoever.
Right.
Some of that was JJ. It seemed like when he did finally have time, he chose to scamper when he didn't need to,
Right.
instead of keeping his eyes downfield. And that happened a couple times. So
Yeah.
I want to hold him accountable too. But the way you just said it, man, even though I buy into JJ, I didn't even think of that. You see, I'm sitting here and, they say don't attribute to malevolence what could be attributed to incompetence. And that could be fair half the time, right? But I
Right.
didn't even think about KLC just buying into JJ being elite. That must show you and us just how great JJ really is, if you
Right.
want to think of it in that light. And I think that's possible. Absolutely, man.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Well, what's your question you have for me, man? I'm ready to talk. Let's go.
My question, man, is what do you think stands in the way the most for genuine success for the Vikings moving forward?
You want me to be? I'm gonna be 100% honest, Jordan, man. And this is something where we're gonna transition this to another guy that came in at the same time, and it's Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah. I'm gonna say this:
Ooh, yeah.
we have to be able to draft correctly, man. I think it's one thing to go in the offseason with free agents and be able to bring in players that, can make an impact right away. Week 1, week 2, week 3, they're doing their thing. And we're like, yo, that was a great pickup, man. This motherfucker balling. But like, we see right now, we're in a situation, right, where it's like, okay, just imagine, right? If Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah, out of all of those draft picks, and I don't want to put this all on Kwesi, but he has to take the brunt of this due to the fact that he is the GM. So, like, hey, it could be your scouting team. It could be, whoever you want to try to trickle it down to. Cool with me. But the truth of the matter is, Kwesi has to take the brunt of this. And there's been a trend that's been happening, and it's the drafts just aren't good, man. They're not productive. The drafts are not, we're not developing actual players on this team. Think about the 2020, man. Listen, bro, that draft, we had 11 players, I believe. I think there was 11 players if I'm not mistaken, and y'all can drop it down in the chat for the ones who know the number exactly. I think it is 11, but 2 of them are on the team now, and that's Ty Chandler and Jalen Naylor. That's it. 2 offensive players, not a linebacker, not a cornerback, not nothing, bro. Like we haven't generated a star yet, and we're on year 4, man. That's becoming an issue. I think that is actually becoming an issue and stopping us right now, because you think if some of those players, Jordan, just think if 1 or 2 of those players from the 2023 draft or the 2022, because I think it was the 2022 draft that I believe he did. If just 1 or 2 of those players turned into, we're not even asking to be a superstar. You know what I mean? Just imagine if Lewis Seen would have been the Lewis Seen that they believed he was going to be, a first round talent. I think our team would be in we would be in a much different situation right now. Because then you look at the 23 draft and you're like, okay, just one. All we need is 1 or 2 of those players to turn in, not a superstar, just a goddamn impact player. That's it. That's all we're at. We ain't even trying to tell you to be a superstar, just an impact player, man. A guy that can go out there and do his job day in and day out. But yet what we're having to do is, I feel like we're having to duct tape the boat. You know what I mean? Like, we're duct taping the Viking ship. Hey, we need a edge rusher. Okay, let's go get this guy that's been in the league 10 years that suffers from injuries, but let's hope that he stays healthy and can contribute this year so we can try to make a Super Bowl run. I don't think that formula is working right now for us. And I think that's what's blocking us, man. It's the ability or the lack thereof to draft. That's my answer, Jordan.
That's a good answer, man. And I do have some words for the drafting as well, because it's very obvious that it is hurting us. When you look at our offensive line, obviously, in this game of musical chairs that our backups are playing, just looking at a guy off the street, looking at if they're injured or they are prone to injury, if they're old or if they're too expensive and teams let them go. That's the only reason you're going to find anybody out there on the market off their couch or something, because chances are the good teams, they're going to make those guys their backups. So the only way to get anybody above that level is to have them in-house through the draft already.
Mm-hmm.
So simply just not getting them in the draft is killing us.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I wouldn't even attribute the Addison pick to Kwesi, because that felt more like a gimme from KOC or somebody I think else in the room.
Yeah.
So
I
I think that's absolutely true.
Yeah. And I mean, if you think about it, Jordan, man, like, I mean, when you sit back and you say, okay, the man has had 3 drafts, right? The man has had 3 drafts, and we're only talking about 1 football player, bro. That's not good. And that is a reason why even this year, why do you think we had 7? I believe we had 7 UDFAs? Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, but we had a number of UDFAs that made the 53. That is not normal. All right. That is not normal activity. There's something up with that. Now, I'm not saying that UDFAs can't come in and play and contribute right away. I mean, y'all know I'm one of the biggest fans of Ivan Pace Jr., and he was one of those guys. And yes, the underdog, we root for him every time. But I don't know if that's a sustainable way to build your franchise to be competitive year in and year out, to make a Super Bowl run. Can you maybe build a playoff team? Yeah, a playoff team is, hey, make it in the wild card. Hey, you're competitive in the game. It's a coin flip, right? And most of the time, it's fucking when it comes to flipping the coin, we all know where the Vikings gonna land. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You are.
I
We
mean, when
all
you
know that.
look at the 49ers, they somehow managed to land their 5th round picks. The Packers land their 2nd,
Right.
3rd, 4th. The Eagles, they draft well. The Rams, they say F them picks. Man, they don't care about first
Telling
rounders.
you.
Get that out of here. So when you're looking at these competitive teams, you're absolutely right. I think this is just obvious now that Quasey has a problem here. So either, you know, and again, I don't know if I agree with the Kobe King selection, but Kobe King and these guys, they get a lot of weight. They may not realize it, but they need to step up. Even Dallas Turner, I get it, but it's his 2nd year, and he was a middle of the 1st round pick. He's got to step up.
You gave
He's
up
got to
capital,
show us.
Jordan, to get him. Let me ask
Yes,
you an
that is
honest
true.
question. Let me ask you an honest question, Jordan. Since you brought up the name, right? How do you feel like? Just I'm just leave it on the line right now. Dallas Turner, like, are you satisfied? Like, do you feel like he's going to be the player that we think he's going to be?
I think he could be. When you
So
watch that Colts game from last year, he was everywhere, man, and he looks like a jaguar pouncing on the quarterback.
yeah,
I think he has a potential, and in Flores' scheme, we're already asking way more of him than other teams. So that immediate comparison that we got with, oh, Jared Verse, Defensive Player of the Year,
yeah,
Vikings missed out, right? Like I get that, but at the same time, we're asking more of him, and he sat 4th in the depth chart.
yeah.
Now he's a starter right now because of what Andrew Van Ginkel is out and Patrick Jones is gone. So
Thank you.
he's sitting here starting. Like I said, he needs to step up now.
So
That's
and
why
so
I'm
that
bringing it
yeah,
up.
and that's my thing, Jordan, is like, and that Jared Verse thing was crazy that people were doing that because first of all, Jared Verse was starting and playing damn near every snap, like you said, and Dallas Turner played a fraction of the snaps, literally a fraction, and still had 3 sacks, I think, and had he had a lot going on. So I give you that, but my thing is this year right here there is no excuse. Okay. We're a month in, right? We're 4 games in already. We've seen 4 games. Dallas Turner needs to do a little more, though, in my opinion. And that's just my opinion because you traded up for him as if he was a sure hit. And usually, when you do that with type of players like that in the first round, other teams, that's why I say there's a draft problem here. And we have a draft problem that's going to just keep getting the every year, the more that these players aren't like jumping off of the TV to us and really like making that real impact, every year is going to keep getting work. The pressure is going to build on Quasey. This year right here, I said it going into the season, Jordan. I was like, look here, man. First of all, between JJ McCarthy and Dallas Turner, the way your drafts have been going, brother, man, both of these players better show us something and look like them. They better. All right. I'm not trying to take anything away from Dallas Turner. He's done some good things in these 4 games. Like you can see the potential there, but like I don't want to keep having to talk about, oh, well, I seen it. I seen it in week 3, but then he went missing in week 4, 5, and 6. And then week 7, he had a game where he had this. And then, 8, 9, and 10, he's just was out there. And then week 11, he had a great game. It's like, no, bro. You need to become the player where every single Sunday you were doing something. Like you were making, that's what the great players do. And I believe Dallas Turner can be that like you, but I'm ready to see it though. The clock is still ticking in my opinion when it comes to Dallas Turner. But that's just me though. You know what I mean? Like, I love him. Love the kid. Love him. I'm a fan, but I got to see it.
I agree with that 100%. And as long as you did bring up his name earlier, but as long as we're talking about draft picks, man, going into the 3rd week, knowing that we already have to cheer on Wentz, and it was like, oh man, how could this get any worse? I sit there, working with my dad, and I look at my phone, just checking it real quick, seeing Vikings news, and I see that we signed Desmond Ritter, and it's got details and everything. I'm like, oh, okay, well, makes sense.
Yeah.
Next man up, got to have somebody behind him.
Yeah.
And then I see a mention of Cam Akers, and I'm like, nah. Nah, man, no. So
Not
I saw
again.
no details. I saw no details. And I was like, okay, well, maybe this is just a joke. It's a rumor because naturally we got to do the meme, right?
Right.
And then I see the details and I couldn't stop laughing, man. This had me like the Joker. All right.
Tell-
I had a near mental break. It's not that I don't like him, but just the fact that we had to do that 3 times, it's got me like, you know how I got these scars?
I'm telling you.
My father raised me as a Vikings fan.
I'm telling you.
But
Hey, for real, bro. Like, hey,
man, dude, like it had me laughing, dude. And I just can't believe it. At this point, keep Akers, drop, just take the hit, Quasey, drop
thank you.
Chandler. He's shown, and I saw this during the first game in the preseason. We were clearly airing him out on those punt returns. Then KOC threw him a pass. He dropped that. So it's
Yeah.
obvious that we finally found a punt returner in Miles Price, and
Yeah.
we're going to be letting Chandler go because he can't even fill the spot that Xavier Scott just stole.
That's a fact.
Because he is a madman.
He's a madman. I like Scott. Shout out Scott, man. You know what I mean? Scott gets a horn. He's a dog. I like him.
Absolutely. I'm a fan too. I like him. So there's all these things bouncing around, man. It's just so many. So, you know, when I asked you that question, what do you think stands in the way? And I've got my own answer.
Yeah, I'm ready to hear it. Yep.
As much as KLC wants to preach about culture, and you heard me dig into him about this before,
Right.
I must emphasize this fact that KOC isn't actually giving the Vikings a culture because we already have one. He's merely dressed it up with a mask. The Vikings have a culture, and this is what's standing in the way of our actual genuine success. That culture is to lose, beat ourselves, fight the refs and ourselves, play down to competition, and when you actually do get a lead and you're winning for once, well, instead of stepping on the gas and crushing their throat, you take your foot off the gas and coast, and then you let them back into the game like the Steelers just did for us last week. So then you get these close or ugly wins where they even feel like losses. This is just Vikings culture at this point. It's just disgusting. Like, just got a couple stats from the last game. You know, we had 20 carries for the run with 70 yards, 12 of which came from Wentz. And we didn't call a first down pass attempt until midway through the second quarter. KOC's run pass isn't fooling anybody. You know, the convoluted play audibles that take up until like the last second to snap the ball are costing us penalties. And I'm so fed up with that, man. I can't do it anymore. Like, especially when you go back and watch the Bears game. I promise you watch that Bears game and you will see our defensive line one full step behind their offensive line almost the entire game. And I have to wonder, is that because they're actually snapping it when it's not the last damn second? How is our offensive line going to get any help when they have to sit there and just give everybody the most heads up, we're snapping it at this exact moment every single time ever? And our offensive line, which has given up 18 sacks in the last 4 games. That is a 14% sack rate, third worst ever, with the worst being the 14.5% the 0-2 Texans had that ruined Carr with 76 sacks. And you know what? With those 18 sacks through 4 weeks, given the longer schedule, we're on pace to match that. We're, the average of sacks per game in 2022 was 1.96, and the average of 23 and 24 is 2.35. We're at 4.25.
Holy, God dang, boy. Yeah, that's not
we are
good.
the second most penalized team behind Jacksonville with 37, and we're the second most 3-and-outs behind, well, surprisingly, the Eagles. Maybe not surprisingly, because we know who Jalen Hurts is, right? Game manager.
Yeah.
And also, this is the second time in a few years the Vikings have had an O lineman get concussed back-to-back games. Apparently, Darisaw was the last time a few years ago.
Yeah.
So these are repeating things. And I'm sitting there watching that game with the Steelers, and I just asked this question. I'm like, Dad, I'm asking to my dad, right? I'm like, hey, Dad, is it possible that these injuries on the offensive line could be the byproduct of bad coaching? And he said, you know what? Yes. The longer a play drags out, the more likely an injury on the offensive line is to happen. And it's so simple, but bam, it just snapped. And it's like, whoa, all these long, drawn out play calls. KLC's constantly tempting the dice over and over again. It's no wonder these guys are getting hurt.
That's a fact, man. What a take, man. Sure. Hey, look, this something I guess we all know, like I think we all can sit back as Vikings fans and say, look, man, something has to give, something has to change. We're trying to all put our finger on it, and but there's definitely something, right? And we hear me and Jordan having conversation between all this stuff we're talking about. Something needs to change. They need to listen. I'm gonna tell you right now because it's not working. It's not. I'm gonna tell you right now, Jordan, who I think though needs to probably be the first one out. Like this isn't when you asked me the question and you said, who do you think's stopping us from getting to that, obviously that next level Super Bowl run type of deal. I'm gonna say Kwesi and drafting, but there's one person, man, and I know you probably seen me do videos on him. Well, I did one video and we've been kind of bringing his name to the forefront, and that's Chris Cooper, bro. Like the offensive line coach, man. I just this guy has been able to go under the radar year in and year out. And I'm gonna blame this on KOC too, though. I'm gonna put a little bit on KOC because it's deja vu. We all remember when we had Donna Shell, right? And what KOC do? He played nice guy way too long. He played nice guy until it cost us a playoff game. That's what he did. And for some reason, this season right here, I'm pushing to say, hey, look, man, Chris Cooper has to take accountability. He's had enough years. When you start to look and you see guys like Garrett Bradbury, you see guys like Ezra Cleveland, you see guys like Ed Ingram go to other teams and become some of the best offensive linemen in the NFL. Yeah, listen to what I'm saying. That is crazy to think about, isn't it, Vikings fans? Yeah, no, but it's facts. There has to be something else going on that's deeper than just, hey, this guy can't play football. This guy just doesn't know how to play. I think it has to do something with the coaching, man. Listen, Chris Cooper has to get the hell out of here, Jordan, man. I want your take on Chris Cooper, man. What do you think about the offensive line coaching? I know we're quick as Vikings fans to like dog the players on the line and say, oh, this like me with Justin School. I mean, I've been dogging them, right? And rightfully so. I mean, if you watch him play, it's kind of hard not to, honestly. But like, when do we talk about the coach, man? When do we talk about the offensive line coach? This dude has been behind the scenes way too long. I think it's time to come up to the spotlight, man, and get on him. What do you think?
I think you're spot on with that again, man. You're absolutely okay. Just last week, I heard some Texans fans. I did a little listening around. I listened to some Steelers guys before the game. Yeah. I listened to some Baltimore guys before whatever. And I heard that whole train wreck. And I listened to some Texans guys. And then, when I heard the guy bring up the fact that CJ is being coached on 0-2 Patriots offense 20 plus years later, I also heard that Ed Ingram, right? He's over there, isn't he? I heard that he was like night and day from the last guy they had. And I'm like, what? What? Why wasn't that our guy?
Yeah.
Okay. And then, whatchamacallit, you said it on the last show, or maybe it was Purple Parlor, but somebody dropped in the group chat, who would have thought getting rid of friggin' who we did, Ed Ingram, Bradbury was going to bite us in the ass, right?
Exactly.
That is some diabolical stuff, man. And that's true.
Diabolical, bro.
Like, I don't think we would be better with them. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that there's clearly an issue here.
Yep.
And it's probably Cooper. And you just brought up the whole nice man thing. That's why I think KOC kept Madison in for as long as he did in the 23 season. KOC is playing that nice guy act. And my dad saw right through it. And that ties back into what I just said is our biggest obstacle to genuine success. And that's our culture of playing down and losing. And part of that is being nice. It all comes down to not having that cutthroat mentality that cuts your competition down like you would expect of Vikings. So KOC, believe it or not, I guess he was just the perfect fit, but he's not the one to break the cycle. If you genuinely want that success, you need a coach who will break that culture and genuinely bring in a new cutthroat culture. I believe Harbaugh absolutely would have done that.
Yeah.
KOC, maybe with his, chair on fire, he might drum something up, but I think our only shot right now is, and I don't think it's a realistic request by any means, but if JJ and his competitive spirit breaks through and ignites the team, that might be our only chance to really get something like that to break through that miasma that hangs around this franchise.
Yeah, man. Great take, man. Shout out everybody in the building, man. Your pops is in the building. Shout out Matt. I see you, man. Papa Gary, he said, "Rap, I told you, man. You did, man. Hey, Jordan been cooking all night, bro. This is one for the books right here, bro. I can't wait to go back and re-listen." Shout out Vic. I see you, Steve, man. George, what's good, George? I see you in the building, man. Lone Wolf said, "I can't listen to this Vikings hatred." Bro, it's not hatred. What we're talking is facts about your favorite football team, bro. Like, we're just having the conversations that need to be had. That's all it is. We're not hating. We're excited to watch our team play on Sunday, but it got to be talked about. It is what it is, my brother. You know what I mean? Shout out Knowledge. I see you in the building, man. Shout out to you. Appreciate you tapping in as well. Everybody, make sure to hit the like button. Two Tone, my guy, man. What's good with you, man? Barber fade you up, man. What's happening? Hey, thank y'all. Thank everybody who's tapped in tonight, man. I appreciate you guys tapping in and listening to us talk, man. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, we've been definitely talking about it, man. If you tapped in late, you need to make sure you hit rewind after we done and let this be a replay. This one of them replay shows, man. You know what? This is one of them shows that at the end of the season, when it's all said and done, you go back to this video and be like, damn, boy, they was cooking that, but they was talking about it. Yeah, this is what one of them shows is, man. I'm telling you right now, I feel it. But Jordan, let's for the people, right? Let's get into a little bit of positive. Can you want to go down a little bit of positivity road, the positive avenue, man? You want to do that real quick, man? Because I want to ask you something.
You know what? I absolutely do, but I want to show that guy what a real hate looks like, and it's not towards the Vikings.
Yeah.
You want to know what real hater stuff sounds like, man? All right, I got you. The Vikings gameplay, that was not the only atrocity against football my eyes bear witness to that night. Oh no. There was this diarrhea spew, the so-called jerseys the Cardinals wore on Thursday Night Football that looked like college jerseys.
Yeah,
man, they called that their rivalry jerseys. Yeah, rivalry with a toilet bowl, perhaps. Nah, dude, get that out of here.
Let's go, man. Hey, see, now that's what you call hatred, man, and not hating the Vikings, hating these motherfuckers. You feel me, man? The damn Cardinals. Which do we play the Cardinals? No, we don't play the Cardinals this year, man. Which I wish we did because we always kick their ass. It seems like that'd have been an easy dub. Yeah,
well, it's not hard to beat, a short quarterback who has to overthrow to his draft bust receiver.
Bro, I feel like him, like I was talking about this the other night just randomly. I don't know how we got onto it, but like him and Bryce Young, I think it was on Purple Parlor. Him and Bryce Young were, I mean, bro, like I just feel like they're not supposed to be in the NFL. I'm sorry, bro. Like I'm not gonna say not in the NFL. Shout out to them, generational wealth, bless their family, all of that. I'm just talking from a fan standpoint, looking at them play. It just looks hard, man. And Kyler Murray has a little bit of an advantage, I guess, because he is a little stalker and he's a freak athlete to where, man, Bryce Young, man, I feel so bad for that kid, bro. Like when he's on the podium and stuff too, man, you almost want to just like, I mean, I don't know, man. You just want to grab his shoulders, man. And hey, man, you're going to be all right, young boy. I'm telling you, man. Like, bro, hey, I'm sorry. Because he just.
You got to listen to what my dad has to say about Kyler Murray. Like, for example, my dad, he thinks he's a baseball washout, which he honestly is. And my dad's just thinking to himself, he's like, man, I wonder if the only thing that held him back from baseball success was he can't hit a curveball. And who knows? That might be exactly why he's a quarterback instead. Yeah. Because he'd be successful as a baseball player if he could do that.
Let's go, man.
Like he's sitting here, he can't see over his own line. So he has to, moonball his receivers
Yeah.
and then, again, just talking about like so your stature, your skill, your athleticism, it's very important. Everything is.
Yeah.
When you look at MHJ, for example, he's slow. He didn't run the 40 for a reason. You know what happens to slow receivers? They get no separation. So they have to fight contested catches all the time. So, when you look at MHJ, go back and watch his tape, his games. The only times he catches a ball is jump balls
Yeah.
because if it's delivered to him with no contested, nothing like that, nobody around him, he's not used to it, so he drops it.
Yeah.
And if so he's only used to them jump balls. His touchdown, just as my dad and I discovered that and broke it down, guess what? He scores with a jump ball.
I'm telling you, man. Hey, you know who jumps on our team though? That irritates the shit out of me. TJ.
Oh, Droppinson.
Man, bro, like, dog, I'm glad me and you on the same page with that. I thought I was the only one, bro, but like,
No,
TJ
no, my dad's
Hawkinson
saying
tends to fucking jump for every like single pass he jumps, bro. Like the shit can be at his feet. And why are you jumping, my brother? Like, I just don't get it, man. Like,
he's scared. He's got scarred from the Kirby Joseph biting his kneecaps.
Yeah, man. Hey, I love TJ, man. I'm here for TJ. It's definitely starting to sound like Viking slander now, but I'm just saying, man.
No, Viking slander is saying he needs to stay with us because that would actually hurt the team.
Let's go, Jordan Cooking. Let's go. Man.
I think it's a contract year. He needs to step up and prove himself. And it's kind of sad because KOC is clearly just not intent on using him anyways on his quick, short passes. But at the same time, what's the point when you're going to be dropping the ball? So honestly, $17 million a year, he drops a ball in the Steelers game right through his hands. Yes, Wentz threw it behind him, but it was through his hands every time. That's not $17 million play. He can walk. I wouldn't put his ass on the curb with a for sale sign on him.
His ass about to get on a curb here in a minute. He keep on playing, man. We gonna have a curb session. Let's go, man. You already know. I know what time it is, man. The whole show gonna be dedicated to this motherfucker. And we gonna make it real fun, man. Anybody who doesn't like TJ Hawkinson or thinks he's not tap in. You know what I mean? We're gonna open the phone lines, man. Let's get it. He gotta get cooked that night. Knowledge said that they look like rap out there playing quarterback. I'm telling you, bruh, especially Bryce Young. You know what I mean? Like, shit. I'm like, damn, that's what I would look like if I was on TV playing. Boy, no, that boy too little, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. Too small, bro. Hey, some of us just ain't blessed to play football, bro, in the NFL. It is what it is, dog. Like, hey, love who you are, bro. But, hey, I'm telling you, boy, just, man, feel bad for him. But I want to go down a positive road, Jordan. I want to go down a positive road.
I got some positive things to say about Wentz because people kind of slandered him a little bit.
Okay, let's get to it. I want to hear. Let's get to that, man. Let's talk about that. Let's get positive for Lone Wolf out here, man. You know what I mean? Hey, Lone Wolf, we about to go down positive boulevard for you, man. You know, my boy Jordan said he got some positive stuff to say. So you tapped in just in time. Let's get it.
Yeah, man. Like first, I kind of want to give a shout out to Too Evil. He's out here been preaching for Wentz.
Let's go. Shout out to Evil, man, making it happen, man. You know what I mean? This all is credited to Too Evil, man. That's a fact, man. Too Evil, man. Let's get it.
All right, yeah. So, Wentz made a really great pass to Addison on his back shoulder, so the defender didn't have a chance to grab it. Defender was just right on his cheeks. So the fact that he threaded that needle looked great. He also threaded the needle to feel in between 3 defenders. And then he showed us something Vikings haven't had for a minute, a pump fake and a shovel pass when, on a collapsing play. And then he scooted for a first down and more for 12 yards. And then he threw that dime to Jettis in the middle with, well-read coverage.
Yep.
Then there's also that back shoulder pass to Naylor for that 2-point conversion.
Nice.
Wentz played through 7 sacks, a poke in the eye. He hit his pinky off a helmet, pressured how many times, hit how many times. He hurt his rib, and his arm was batted how many times. He played like a champion. He was most definitely a very serviceable backup. I have no hate for him.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong. I want JJ back when we can get him back, if the line can sustain it. But given Wentz and what he did, I think he played well.
Okay.
I think he played well.
Yeah. Yeah. And my thing is too, like, I've never not liked Wentz. I'll say that. Like, I'm not here to bash Wentz either, because again, like this was even with the Sam Darnold thing. Like, it's almost the same exact thing. Like, they owe us nothing, right? Like, I always feel like the Sam Darnold, even though he had an amazing season, he crumbled when it mattered, like we all thought he would. But he gave us a fun season, and he really owed us nothing, man. He was brought in for $10 million to be a bridge quarterback or a backup, whatever the case would have been at that moment. He wound up being a starter, and he won us 14 games. Congratulations. It was fun to root for the Vikings last year, I got to admit. Carson Wentz, I feel the same exact way. He was brought in as a backup. My expectations aren't Carson Wentz is going to take us to the Super Bowl, and he's not going to go out here and be world beating every single week. But, hey, look, he's serviceable. There's something there. You know what I mean? And like you said, I can agree with you, man. I don't think anybody can come away from Sunday's game and say, no, Carson Wentz is just horrible, bro. This dude is trash, right? I think
Yeah, I mean, I could see the flaws. Like, he
he has
missed Jettis
flaws.
twice,
Yep.
multiple tipped balls.
Yeah.
He was throwing at the back of an end zone that nearly got picked.
Right.
And then, there's that fumble he had that Oliver and the lineman had to go and get. He stayed holding the ball, staring down receivers too long,
He
losing
has
10
flaws.
seconds to grounding. Like, yeah, he's definitely a backup,
Yes.
but
Yes.
he did great.
For
I'm happy for
what we brought him in for, because pretty much the intention was to bring Wentz in for a situation like this where the starter is going to be out for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Can we get a quarterback that can come in and at least make it competitive? And I think the answer is yes with Wentz. And I think that's the question that the Viking staff probably asked herself as they were going out to get their quarterback. They looked at Sam Howell and said, "Can this guy keep us competitive while our starter's out?" No. You know what I mean? We've seen enough. We got to let him walk. All right. And they went and got Wentz, and they feel like he can. And like you said, I mean, look, man, I'm just not going to sit here. There's Vikings fans, Jordan, that are jumping on board because of the fact they do not like JJ McCarthy. And that's where my
Yeah,
issue lies, right? My
I
issue
heard
lies
that.
with the people that don't want JJ McCarthy to come back in, so they jump on the Wentz train and say, he's the guy. He's going to be the one that take this, that, and the third. So that's where my issue lies with the Wentz conversations. It's like, man, say the guy played a decent game. That's all good and gravy. But also just be aware too that when JJ McCarthy is back healthy, he needs to be the starting quarterback. That's period, man. I don't even know why this should be a debate, to be honest with you. I mean, you can have some type of stance where, well, the offensive line may not be good. Do you want to risk them getting injured again? Okay, that's a conversation to have. I can agree with that to a certain extent. But I also feel like this, Jordan, is JJ McCarthy needs to play, man. Like, period. I just think he needs to play. I think he needs to face every single type of situation that can be thrown at him in 2025. I really do. Whether that's the offensive line is not as good as we think it, but you got to be able to overcome adversity. And we're going to be more talking about his durability than his actual ability, in my opinion. That's what I believe. But so Carson Wentz,
That's
you feel
facts.
good. Carson Wentz, you feel good. You think he did good, but like, what's your deal with JJ McCarthy? Like, do you feel the same about that though? Do you think JJ McCarthy absolutely needs to be the starter when he comes in, or are there certain things that you rather see before you just throw him out there?
I think you're right about how we got to see him play. And, I brought it up earlier that, yes, you can throw him out there and you gotta see it. And there's the issue of he could get hurt behind this line. That's just a measure you need to think about. Do you think JJ is that guy that can turn those plays that do break down into explosive plays,
Right.
or to keep a drive going? Is he that guy who won't sit there and suffer too many procedural penalties, right? Is he able to keep that rolling? So I didn't rule it out by any means. The question is, do we think he's that guy? I think he can be. Do we think he's that guy right now? I don't know. That's up to everybody in the building with him to say that.
Yeah.
But again, there is still that measure, like SK said on Purple Parlor, it could be inhibitive.
Yeah.
So there's really just a you got to make that call yourself. But it would be easier for JJ if we just do, I don't know, what the Lions did when they whipped our ass off the bye week in 24, or if we do what the Rams did, or if we do what Aaron Rodgers just did. Quick, snappy play calls, passes. When the Bears played us the second time last year, they just fired their OC and promoted that one guy, before he became interim head coach.
Yeah.
He made Williams play good, well against us. So the question is, what did he do? He quick, snappy play calls. I bet you if we go back and watch that, that's going to be what comes up. So then when you look at Aaron Rodgers, there's a stat that just came out. It was like Rodgers basically threw with like a release time of 2.17 seconds. That is the fastest he's thrown it since the stat has been tracked. And that's an average. There's passes that were out quicker than that.
Yeah.
Even when he's holding it and bumping up the average for whatever plays. So it's obvious that KOC sat there and watched as we sacked Rodgers and forced a 3-and-out on that first possession. And then the Steelers instantly adjusted, changed their game plan, and then made quick, snappy play calls to get the ball out of his hands and punish a defense, because this isn't the first time KLC's witnessed it. That's my problem with him. Is he capable of getting over his ego? Because that's where I'm getting this ego problem from him, right?
Yeah.
Because when we lost to the Lions, we're coming off a 5-0 win streak going into the bye. We just almost let the Jets and Packers win or come back to the game last year, right? And we're like, okay, you know what? Mistakes happen. Adjustments can be made. Every opponent threatens a win against you every freaking week, right? Any given Sunday, the worst team in the league can still have 3 or 4 wins, right? Don't be one of them. So we go into the bye week thinking, all right, we'll come back to the Lions. But you know what? The Vikings have this talent for laying an egg after a bye week, like the Raiders the year before, and then this 24 season with the Lions. They come off that bye week and do a straight ass showing to everybody out there, man.
Yeah.
It was painful. Now, don't get me wrong. I think that game was rigged because there was obvious holding in open space on the sideline, on the hashes, right in front of the refs. They didn't call that shit, but they flagged us at every key momentum play during a drive and stuffed us, killed our drives, stopped momentum. So it was definitely a rigged game.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. We're fighting the coaches. We're fighting the other team. We're fighting ourselves.
Yeah.
So how can you expect to win then, right? So when we're fighting the other team, what did Jared Goof? He gets shaken. He hates to get hit. So Flores, what does he do? He overcommits to the blitz. And then when that doesn't work, he does it again. He doesn't stop calling it the whole damn game. And Jared Goof is like, oh, I'll take the free, quick, snappy plays. I'll just paper cut you to death every damn time.
Yeah.
So that's what they did to us that time. And KOC saw that, didn't adjust, got blown out again the next freaking week when we again got a game break against us. But then we come to the Steelers game, right?
Yeah.
And Rodgers, they had a run game. Like I listened to Steelers fans the whole week before, and they're talking about their offensive line being dookie, except for a couple project guys. Mason McCormick from SDSU. My dad and I had our eye on him. I wanted him.
Yeah.
I like him. But a couple of their other guys, especially that left tackle, Ben Roethlisberger, called him out. So you're sitting there looking at this team, and they're like, man, our offensive line sucks. They push up into the second level too fast. There's, gaps open. And when you watch the film, their running back has to run around the line every time. So I guess they just decided they were going to run outside zone against us. And our defensive, whoever's behind the scenes managing that tape, didn't stop to think that we need to prepare for them to run outside zone at all. against their backup.
Yeah.
And then he goes out there and looks like Adrian Peterson on our ass. What happened, man? So that happened. And what that did is that gave Aaron Rodgers the leeway to not have to worry about extending the field. He didn't need to. He had a great run game. So he could afford to sit back and dink and dunk and quick snappy pass us the whole game. He had like, what, 140 yards?
Yeah.
And he ran on us too. He ran. Everybody's saying he was a statue, and he runs on us.
Bro, Jordan, how much blame do you put on Brian Flores? We touched on this where I know all Vikings fans love Brian Flores and we praise him. Oh, he's the best thing that's ever happened to the Minnesota Vikings because he came in and saved us from Ed Donatel. I just think that the gap was so huge. And I'm not saying Brian Flores isn't good, right? But I'm just saying I think sometimes we get afraid to put some blame on him with adjusting as well. Because Kevin O'Connell has an adjustment problem in the middle of the game. I almost feel like Brian Flores does too, where he adjusts, but it's always a little too late. It's a little too late. Like we'll let teams, like you said, paper cut us to death. And then in the fourth quarter, now you want to make the adjustment, but the game's tight now. Now we're crawling and now we're scratching and clawing to try to just get ahead. But if you would have did this in the second quarter or coming out of half, or maybe even after the second drive, after you realize, oh shit, they changed it up. You know what I mean? Like, what would be the outcome at that point? Because I think the Steelers game was a prime example of that. Like you said, you know, it's one thing if you went through the week with your game plan and you're watching film and it's like, okay, they're outside zone. We need to figure out how to stop that. And then the Steelers decide, all right, we're not going to run that this game as much. We're going to do this. Okay, B-Flow, you need to know how to adjust as well. I think B-Flow has an issue with the in-game adjustments. Him and KOC, both of them. I think both of them need to sit down and talk to each other because they don't like doing it, man. I'm being honest with you, man. It's like, do you feel that same way? Like putting blame on B-Flow with not being able to adjust like that?
Man, absolutely. Look at B-Flow. What I just said about B-Flow, like, or at least about the Steelers offensive line and their run game. We knew exactly what that was going to be. They were one of the worst run teams in the league. You should have known they can only run the ball around the edge because they suck.
Yeah.
And then guess what? We came completely unprepared for that. Look at Gainwell's biggest plays, or most of them, especially the touchdown, right? He goes around the outside. And, you know, here's another thing that's notable is the Steelers, they go and they throw blocks like their lives depend on it. You want to talk about a good winning culture, as much as people would have called for Tomlin's head if he lost to us in overtime for not going for it on 4th and inches. You know, that team, that has a culture that says we're here to be physical and I'm going to throw down this block even if it doesn't matter in the end because the guy gets tackled behind me. But on the off chance he can get past that other guy, the lane's opened up for him. So the other guy makes a play. Nobody ever talks about me, but I'm going to go and do it anyways. And that's what I saw from the Steelers the whole time. So, yeah, they ran around the outside. Yeah, they did throw some great blocks that helped make that a little bit more possible. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, why can't our offense do that? Why can't our defense do that? Yeah, Hawkinson threw that awesome block for JJ in the first game, but he's notoriously terrible at blocking, and he let people fly by him again. You know,
crazy.
You're sitting here and you're looking at I don't know, it's like that meme of Squidward sitting in his house watching SpongeBob and Patrick run by and have fun. He's just sitting there just looking outside. Like, man, I wish I could have that, right? Like,
I'm telling you, yeah. No, and you do. It's funny, man. Real quick, let's read your pops with the super chat, $5, man. He said, let us not forget, even the QBs who came out this year are older than JJ. JJ is going to put the league on notice. Hashtag believe it, man. That's a fact, man. Let's go, Nine. Shout out Noise Fierce, man. That's a fact, though. Hey, man. Listen, JJ is 22 years old. We have plenty of time. One thing that's on his side is time. That's for sure.
Facts.
You know,
that's facts.
He got time on his side. I mean, part of me, when you think about that, it's almost like, shout out Cause and Effect. I see you, bro. Appreciate you tapping in as well. When you think about JJ McCarthy and his age, part of you as a Vikings fan, part of me is like, well, you know what? I mean, technically, no, you don't have to put him out there. You know what I mean? You don't. You can. He's 22 years old, and this, that, and the third. But my thing is, listen, this regime and KOC specifically, and I feel like Kwesi were brought in here to locate a quarterback. All right, they don't have a lifetime contract. We're on year 3 now. They did get an extension, but we all know the truth about that. The extension can mean diddly squat, man, because if the owners are ready to let go, they're gonna let go. All right. We extended KOC, but if we lose out this season and then go into next season and we getting beat and battered week in and week out, bro, he's not, that 4-year extension is not, it's not gonna play out. Believe me on that. And same thing with damn Kwesi. I feel like they were brought in here to locate our franchise quarterback, and sooner than later, get him out there to take over this team and get us to that promised land that all Vikings fans want. The dream. All right.
I think he's the best in the freaking class, man.
Me too.
Like
Me too.
it'll be visible. And I think part of the decision to want him out there, to want to succeed now, lies in the fact that, the national media don't give us a break. They don't respect us, right? Like I told you at Skullfest, man, if we waited one pick to let somebody else, the Texans, grab Donovan Jackson, they would not have stopped glazing them. Oh, they got a guy to protect their quarterback, their junior season quarterback.
Yeah.
But we do it. Nah, man, they don't care. So when we go and get JJ, you know what the talk was before the draft? I don't know if anybody remembers this. People were saying he throws balls too hot. He's got too much heat on that arm. But then in the draft, people were saying, yeah, he doesn't have an arm. It's weak.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, they're saying it's too hot again. So they couldn't even make up their mind about the narrative they want to lie to us about JJ. They couldn't do it. I think they hate him. I think people are right. The mainstream media hates to see star players on our team. They don't want them.
They do, man. So, I'm telling you. Shout out Sarah. Shout out Sarah with the $4.99. She said, people want a young franchise quarterback until it's actually time to let him play and develop. Absolutely, Sarah. Like, and SK's been pounding that drum too. Where it's like, bro,
on the Purple Parlor.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Like, bro, everybody wants a young quarterback and they want to develop and this, that, and the third until it's time to watch it play out. And we're 2 weeks in. 2 weeks, bro. 2 weeks. Like it sounds even crazy talking about it. And I know most of the people in our chat and our community aren't on this train, but when you do see people on X or Instagram or wherever you're, following your Vikings community, and even on here on YouTube, and you see that people are, nah, he's a bust, like already labeling him as a bust. He's not going to be good. It's crazy, bro. After 2 weeks, man. 2 weeks. That is, I mean, I just can't wrap my head around it. It's weird. You got to let him play. You have to be
I think
patient.
SK nailed it. He said that this is not a comfort zone for Vikings fans. When he said that, I'm like, wow, yes, exactly that.
Yeah.
Listen, I was born in 98, man. Mm-hmm. I didn't even get to see some of those glory years. I grew up and I got to see Peterson. That was awesome, right? Got to see Percy Harvin and some of those guys. And then Thielen come along, and then Diggs, and now Jefferson. But I didn't get to see, like SK said, I wasn't even, alive until that very season where we were developing quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And people like Teddy Bridgewater, whose knee exploded, they don't count.
Right. Exactly. That's true. I mean, hey, it's the facts, man. SK was beating that drum, and I agree 110%, bro. Like, we just got to have some patience, man. That's the moral of the story, man. It's just have some patience, Vikings fans. Listen, the kid can ball. The kid can play. Give him a goddamn chance, man. At least let him play some damn football first, all right, before you decide to say fuck him. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like, it's just crazy, bro. Like, we have this. I have a good feeling. I know Jordan, your pops, everybody in the chat, really, we all have this good feeling about JJ McCarthy. And trust me, there's a reason why we feel the way we feel about the kid, because I do remember Christian Ponders of the world and even Teddy Bridgewater's. I mean, when we drafted Teddy, there was definitely not this type of feeling surrounding Teddy. and definitely not surrounding Christian Ponder. I fucking hated that pick. Like I was like, yo, seriously? Like y'all went what? Y'all picked 2? That shit irritated shit out of me. And when we drafted JJ McCarthy, it just felt different. It felt different. It felt like we actually got him. Even before he threw a football in the purple and gold jersey, it just felt right. And yes, that is that's a fandom thing. Oh, you're just saying that because he got drafted to your team. No, you watch this kid and you hear about him and everybody else talking about him. And you're like, yo, what I was thinking must be true then, because everybody else is kind of seconding what I feel, about him. And we just got to give him some time, man. I mean, that's the end of it, bro. Just give him some time. That's
I
it,
think
man.
the reason you don't even remember it being like that back then was because a lot of people didn't have YouTube accounts
Yeah,
who
true,
made careers out of weekly news reports or
true.
drama baiting, rage baiting, and
Got a
that's what
point.
they do now.
Yep.
So when JJ started rising up the charts and looking like he was going from 23rd in the draft or 32nd and kind of rising up to like 10 or whatever, 17, people were taking notice and they were like, man, he's got no film, da 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 da. They didn't trust him with the ball, right?
Yeah,
Like whatever, man. They said
yeah,
all these crazy, stupid things. And that became a narrative because it's rage baiting. It gets those clicks, it gets people talking.
yeah,
And then those mainstream media picked that up and started spouting that. Like that's probably also why, to a degree, that we're seeing this.
yeah.
But when you go and look, I mean, it speaks for itself. When JJ threw the ball, it's because he needed to. The defense was expecting it, and he still made plays, and he looked great doing it.
Absolutely.
He is the guy. I just know he's got it.
Yeah. No, absolutely, man. I agree 110%. Shout out Lord Soth. He said, he said JJ has good potential for sure, but GM is holding back and destroying this team's future. And you know what, Soth, if you rewind the show after we get off, yeah, I don't know, maybe like 30 minutes in or so, or around that area, you will hear us touch on that. Like, so we both touched on the GM situation. And yeah, you'll hear it, man. Trust me, man. This is one of them shows you got to go back and listen. If you tapped in a little late, make sure you hit the rewind button after we get up out of here, man, and listen to that. Jordan, man, I want to talk about heading into this week. I kind of want to just get your feelings. I mean, we touched on a lot tonight. But before we go, we almost been on 2 hours, man. This is a great conversation, bro. I got to tell you that too, man. Shout out to you, and this shit's been fun. But we can't leave
Absolutely
without
loving that.
touching on what we face this week right here in a couple days in the Cleveland Browns in London, and we're facing Dylan Gabriel. So me and you were touching on these short quarterbacks. Well, the news came out that the Browns are starting Dylan effing Gabriel, which, quite frankly, man, I kind of like Dylan coming out of college though, low key. I know he's smaller. He doesn't seem as small as like Bryce Young and Kyler Murray. It seems like a little bigger. At least he looks a little bigger on screen. But like the truth of the matter is, he's a rookie quarterback, and we know how Brian Flores is with these rookie quarterbacks. Man, usually he makes them pay for the most part. But then on the flip side of the coin is Vikings history. We always get these. Damn, I butchered his name. We always get these players, these rookies, or these no-name quarterbacks, whatever you want to call it, and they come in and they have their best game. I cannot spell this motherfucker's name.
God, dude, that's so true though. Don't say that; it hurts.
Yeah. So so I'm curious to how you feel about us going into this game, facing a guy, Brian Flores being able to scheme up against a guy in Dylan Gabriel. And what do you see the outcome being?
It's really hard to gauge this guy at first because when we're watching the draft happen, right? It goes first round, Sanders doesn't go. Second round, Sanders doesn't go. Third round, Sanders doesn't go.
Yeah.
The one team that we thought, he might get drafted by the Browns, they go and pick Dylan Gabriel. So I'm sitting there with, my conspiracy hat on. I'm sitting there thinking, man, I almost wonder if they picked up Gabriel to sit there and be like, sorry, NFL. We kind of already got a quarterback this draft, so we don't need to go grab Sanders. And then when they did, you could see the disappointment, the anger in everybody's faces, man. It's like the NFL forced that whole draft room to grab Sanders. So the question is, do they want Gabriel because they wanted Gabriel, or did they do it to try to avoid Sanders and get stuck with him anyways?
Yeah.
So he could just honestly be a bridge quarterback to find something later. Who knows? But I do know that they sat Flacco out because we had his number last year.
Yeah.
He ain't good.
Right.
So
Yeah, his
I,
age
I
is catching up to him for sure.
yeah, I just think that first off, the offense needs to not just adjust, right? Like I mentioned, the longer a play draws out, the more injured people are going to get. We can't afford anymore. So KOC, he needs to over adjust and do as much snappy, quick plays as possible and demonstrate a convincing run game in order to make that possible. And then once that's possible, your defense needs to step out there and play well. And I think they wouldn't have a problem shutting down a rookie like Gabriel.
Yeah, and speaking of their defense too, Jordan, bro, if you don't adjust against this defense, bro, listen, their
Oh,
offense may not be able to score a ton of points, especially being that they're going to start Dylan Gabriel. So you don't expect them to be, high flying offense out here. But when it comes to the defensive side of the ball, if you do not adjust, man, this guy, Myles Garrett, is going to kick our ass, man. And that is a fact. Now, they do say Myles Garrett has an ankle. He's not expected to practice today, but of course, he's going to be out there. You know what I mean? Like he's going to be out there.
Yeah, that could be a little obfuscation out there for the other team.
Exactly.
But good point. I did want to bring this up. You talked about Myles Garrett here, and I think, yes, we got Darisaw back just in time to shut down Trey Hendrickson. But was that entirely him? Or is that your traditional Bengals slow start to the year? Because, well, first off, Joe Burrow doesn't play in the preseason because he's always hurt. The one time he showed up not hurt, his appendix burst and he had to sit out again for surgery.
Yeah.
So that's why they get off to a slow start. And then for some reason, Trey Hendrickson, sitting there, I want the money, I want the bag, I'm going to sit out and basically take a plane and camp out of my hometown. And that's what he did in the offseason. And you mean to believe that he was going to be a factor when he literally just sat himself out and became a non-factor by not participating in the preseason? Kind of like how our offensive line didn't have time to mesh and gel, how JJ and Jettis didn't have time to mesh and gel because Jettis was sitting out. And then, it comes to game one, and there's just a little too much heat on that ball, and Jettis drops it, right?
Yeah.
So that's all important. So that's why I think Hendrickson wasn't a factor.
Right.
So we can't sit here and celebrate that we beat literally one of the worst defenses in the league. I don't know why we bought into that. It felt great, but it was largely just one man's defensive performance that took us over the edge and a terrible defense that couldn't stop us anyways.
Thank you.
So looking at Myles Garrett, I see a genuine threat here, man. I don't know how I feel about it. Just last time is like, man, Darisaw's back, school's out, but then nope, it's September, baby. School is back in. Sorry, but Neela's out, dude. Just
fuck, bro. Like, man, listen. And if there's any game, right? And I feel like we need to split these games across the water. We need to split them, bro. Going into the bye, we need to go into the bye coming off a dub. I feel like just for the teams. Just to get the team back on track, the morale, everything about it, man. Just it needs to be a W, bro.
Man, are you really a Vikings fan? You always know that it gets worse when we think it's finally gotten the worst. They're gonna lay an egg. It'll be 0-0 again, or it'll be the other way around, where just like you just said on was it Purple Parlor, where we seem to get a great blowout win, and then the next game we lose hard, and then that lines up with what I've noticed coming off of bye weeks where we lay an egg.
We lay an egg, bro.
Yeah, man. So it's going to be one of either. We either blow them out and lay an egg against the Eagles, or we show up and get our ass beat because guess what? You thought it was bad? No, it's going to get worse against the Browns, Chief.
I'm just hoping, man, the cycle just fucking breaks, Jordan, man, in 2025, bro. That's all, man. Hey, look.
McCarthy is the man, dude. When you look at those eyes and you see that hunger.
I'm
It's
telling
not
you,
just
bro.
it's true competitive spirit. You just
It
know it's
is.
there, man.
You know it's
I
there.
think I think that's our only shot to break this culture, this Vikings miasma, and bring back what would be an actual Viking where we're bloodthirsty, where we're not going to stop beating you because you're almost dead. We'll
Right.
take pride in beating you past dead.
Let's
That's
go,
what I
man.
want.
Yeah, I like the sound of that, man. That's what the hell I want too. Shit, like I'm on board with that. You know, like man, JJ, this guy right here on the screen, man, this is the guy we need to get back out there. And is there going to be bumps? Yeah, gonna be bumps. You know, there's gonna be bumps. There's gonna be obstacles. There's gonna be adversity. All of that good stuff. But as Vikings fans, we need to rally behind this, man, and really look forward to getting him out there. Hopefully, this is the last game that he's not available for us. We watch Carson Wentz again, and we rally behind Carson Wentz in this game, and I think we can beat the Browns with Carson Wentz. So it's not like we're going into the game saying, "Oh shit, we just have no shot." The Browns are the Browns. Do they have a good defense? Yes, but you have a superior franchise. You need to find a way to beat them. You, in my opinion, you have the better coach. I mean, it can be debatable. I'm sure there's people out there that say, nah, Stefanski, we probably should have kept him and he should probably be in the situation KOC's in and be the coach of the Vikings. Hey, that's a debate, right? I'm not opposed to that debate, but I mean, we're talking about what's going on Sunday, and I'm gonna tell you right now, we need to beat the Browns. Period. I don't. There's no excuse, bro. That is how I'm going into this game Sunday morning. Jordan, is I don't want to hear not one excuse. I don't want to hear about injuries. I don't want to hear about nothing. You need to go out there and handle business. Point blank. Period. You have the better franchise. Act like it when you get out there, and quite frankly, across the board. I mean, I feel like we have way more talent than the Browns. Realistically, like we have a better football team. Their defense is doing really good, but like across the board position groups, man, even with some of the bang injuries that we have, the bad injuries we have, I still believe our personnel and the players we have are better. And maybe I sound like a homer, but you know what? That's what I'm riding with, man. Let's get it, man. What's your score prediction, Jordan?
Oh, I think it's going to be a very defensive locked game. If
Okay.
we do good, it's because our defense is doing good. And yeah, I don't know how well a run game is going to work on these guys. They've
Yeah.
impressed me even last year, just looking at their linebackers, even they're looking tight.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting low scoring game. I'm gonna throw like 12-10. It's gonna be like
12 to
one of
10.
those
Okay.
games.
All
Yeah.
right. Everybody drop their score predictions in the chat, man. Let's see if y'all feel similar to Jordan, man. Jordan got 12 to 10, which, hey, look, man, 12 to 10. That means 4 field goals pretty much, or either 2 touchdowns and miss 2 extra points. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's a couple different scenarios. You know what I mean? I can see it. Hey, I wouldn't be surprised, man, because the Vikings seem to never surprise us, bro. Like for real. They always do exactly what the hell we thought they was gonna do, man. We come on to pep rallies and stuff. Oh, we gonna kick their ass. This is gonna be 38 to 10. And you know what I mean? And then it's like, yeah, 12 to 10.
Well, hey, you know what? The Lions hung 34 on them,
They did
so
hang
it
34 on
could
them.
happen. It
But
could happen. If
yeah,
we study that film and we adjust and we do what we need to do, like if KOC just locks in, if everybody back there locks in,
yeah,
man, it could be a different story.
yeah.
It could be a blowout.
Yeah. Shout out Really Flawed in the building. I see you in the building. Too Evil in the building, man. Let's go. Hey, Too Evil. We got Jordan on the line, man. Shout out Jordan, Norse's son on the line, man. Too Evil tapped in. He said, fire the entire Vikings team.
Into
Too
the
Evil.
sun,
Into the sun. You
man.
know Too Evil.
Oh.
Too Evil got to make it interesting. You know that. That's our boy.
I feel it. And you were just talking about how you could see that we have the talent, man. And
Yeah.
absolutely, like the reason I walked us through the 23 season, I
Yeah.
was actually going to carry that into the 24 season.
Yeah.
And just like even interim right before in between the draft, right? Where we're getting all our free agents. We sign like a free agency class of all time, and then we get Darnold.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there thinking, man, we could have won every game of the 23 season.
Yeah.
And then we got even better, assuming KOC fixes his thing. I think we could make a real run. Now let's look at Darnold. I go and I watch his film from like the usual reporters like Jackson Kruger Sports and all them,
Yeah.
and I see genuine potential. And then you tell me he got a year to rehab over in the 49ers, and
Yeah.
then KOC, this quarterback whisperer. Nah, man, I think we can do something. So call me crazy, and everybody did. I put up a guess, a prediction. I told my dad, 24 season, 12-5. And yeah, I said that was a conservative guess too. And guess what we got? We got 14-3.
Let's
So
go.
yeah. So
Now, hey,
that's
Pops is
exactly
in the
it.
building. Pops is in the building. Hey, Pops, is he telling the truth? Is Jordan telling the truth? Did he tell you that? Come on, Pops. We need you to we need to credit that, man. Is it? Let's see what's up. Hey, for real. Hey, nah, facts though, man. Yeah, you almost called that shit on the head. Like, I think I had us at what I have us at 2025. I think I had 12-5 as well. But that was me also thinking that JJ McCarthy, I was just super hype on JJ, bro. I was like, bro gonna come in. Our team's built to go. We got the Lamborghini.
Oh,
He just need to drive it. But then when Darnold,
yep.
when we found out Darnold was gonna be the guy, I was like, all right, 10 wins, maybe 9. I don't know. But then he surprised me. And that's the great thing about being a Vikings fan, though, is like we can criticize these players, but if they happen to come in and play good, bro, like you think I'm mad because I thought Sam Darnold was gonna be ass, but then he winded up playing at somewhat quote unquote an MVP level. You think I'm mad? Absolutely not. I'm a Vikings fan before anything. You know what I mean? Like I'm enjoying the
Absolutely.
ride. I love it, and I'm happy for him, man. And you know what? He's in Seattle right now. Shit, balling. To be honest with you,
Oh man, I
going
just saw in that
crazy,
Thursday night game, Darnold got a
bro.
screen pass where they had him. Guess what? KOC needs to hear this, but this is top secret. They had Darnold. He had to roll out when he threw the screen. What?
Whoa,
Whoa, dude, that's
whoa.
crazy. And guess what? The receiver, the target, he wasn't 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
Oh
Oh,
shit.
dude,
Let's
that's crazy.
go. No, that is crazy, bro. Like, as y'all can see, we're definitely on to KOC in this play calling whole ordeal. And you know what? We need to see change, man. We need to see a change and we need to see it now. And I think rightfully so as Vikings fans, we have the right to feel the way we feel about this whole thing. I mean, there's been a lot of you guys that have already been on that train. Shout out to Evil for the 199 too. Appreciate you, man. He said fire both teams into the sun, man. Let's go, man. Both. Fire both. Fuck it. Pop said facts, 100%. Let's go. But yeah, man, I think rightfully so, man. We have a right to feel the way we feel about KO and the play calling. And I'm one of the
And
last
it's
ones on
defense
board.
too.
Yeah.
It's defense too, man.
And it's
Like,
defense. I think we need to hold Brian Flores accountable too, man, because the games we do lose, I think it is a lack of. I think it's a lack of in-game adjustment. You know what I mean? I think it's as simple as that.
even pre-game adjustment,
Or
man. Like,
pregame, exactly.
just when I'm sitting there watching these games, man, it just, for example, the 24 season again, right?
Yeah.
You sit there and you watch that middle of the road stretch, right? I walked everybody up until the Lions and Rams loss, but then came that middle stretch. And we sat there, played teams that gave up 6, 8, 10 sacks
Yeah.
the week before. One of them was the Bears. And, I just explained how they just suddenly gave up no sacks to us because they adjusted. And then we go and we play these teams the week after they gave up these insane sack numbers. I was expecting our boys to eat.
Yeah.
And guess what? Absolute famine. So how the fuck are all
Let's
these
go.
teams adjusting like this and looking like superstars the week we play them? Are we just that bad when we do that and we make it a struggle? Or is that what actual adjustment genuinely looks like? It was baffling to watch that the whole freaking middle season and seeing KOC, for example, Darnold, one of his criticisms in that middle stretch there when it just seemed like he couldn't get anything moving on the offense because he was staring down JJ.
Yeah.
I think KOC told him to.
Yeah.
I think that's what happened. I think KOC told Darnold, stare down JJ, get it to him.
Damn. You probably right. You're probably right, dog. To be honest with you, man, I can hear him speaking, especially after hearing how he talks in that fucking headset, which I gotta say I enjoyed. You know what I mean? I kind of enjoyed it. during the preseason. I'm like, damn, you know what? This motherfucker is kind of a genius, but I got to stop doing that shit, man. I'm such a KO guy where I've been blinded for 3 years now. And now he's under a microscope. Now I'm watching every fucking thing and I'm critical now. You know, he done got me in my critical mode, you know, where I'm like, all right, now I'm
Well, I
finna,
don't think you're wrong to have had so much hope and faith because at the same time, like I've said, I've seen. I'm being cautiously optimistic and believing we could have won 23, way more games
yeah,
where we had a 12-5 potential in 24. And
yeah,
guess what we did? It's because I, like you, have been seeing that there is real potential, that there's room to grow. And if we did this well, man, imagine how great we can really be if it clicks. So
right.
there's nothing wrong with where you're at. And I would have to uh, ask you to not lose that, even though at the same time we want to be more critical.
Yeah,
But I'm also glad that you are being more critical. But at the same time, at least somebody's got to stay positive, even if
absolutely.
you're a little critical.
Absolutely, man. No, I appreciate it, man. That's a fact. We got shout out to Really Flawed for dropping. And I'm trying to find a, you know what? Here, I'll put this back up. Shout out to Really Flawed for dropping the 2124 super chat. She said, because I am petty, but also kind. Thank you, Really Flawed, for sure. Thank you for the amazing community you have built, and Steelers Nation strikes again. Shout out to Aaron Rodgers, DK Metcalf, and that Steelers defense. Let's give them a round of applause. Shout out Really Flawed. She called it. You know, they handled business. They did what they did. It is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, hey, we got to take it on the chin, and now we got to play somebody that's also in their division in the Cleveland Browns, and we got to go and get us a dub, man. If we can just get us a win here on Sunday morning, which first of all, NFL, F you, bruh. Like straight up for doing this to us. First of all, let's start there. You know what I mean? Like having us play back to back goddamn cross seas games is crazy. I hope y'all do that to somebody else next year. I'm just saying. Don't let us be the test hamsters out this motherfucker, because that's what it seemed like this year. But hey, we gotta play who we gotta play and where we gotta play them, and let's go out there and handle goddamn business, man. We need this coaching to step up Sunday for sure. Everybody, make sure you tap into the pep rally. Pep rally is still on and popping, man. 8:30, 7:30 Central Time. Of course, an hour before the game. We'll find some Brown. It's gonna be tough to find some Browns content creators. I'm gonna tell you right now, they don't have a lot of them. There's some, but they don't have a lot of them. I'm gonna just be honest with y'all. So if y'all have any suggestions, if y'all find any Browns content, I'm asking for your help, Community Purple Gang. I'm asking for your help. If y'all see any Browns content creators and they're going to be live, before the game kicks off, hey, don't be afraid to drop the link in the chat during the pep rally, because it's going to be a search. I'm gonna tell you, I've been looking already. Motherfuckers just don't talk about the Browns like that. And, they got locked on Browns and shit, but they're not fun, man, because they don't pay attention to the chat. We want somebody who's actually going to see us in the building. You know what I mean? For real. But, man, one more thing before we go, Jordan, man, and I really appreciate it. This was a great show, bro. Like 2 hours. Anytime I know I'm on for 2 hours, and Really Flawed can attest to this too, because we've had shows where we're on for 2 hours. It means it's something good, bro. It means it's good, and there was a lot of great points in the damn show, and this shit, I'm sure everybody enjoyed it, and the numbers have been consistent for 2 hours. People have sat around and listened to us for 2 hours. So shout out to y'all, man. Shout out to the community, man, for sure. Shout out to the community for sitting around with us and thugging it out with us, man, as me and Jordan talk about our Minnesota Vikings and the state of this damn franchise, bro. Even though we may not be, on our high horse right now, I think we're okay with the team, and there's things we want to change, and something needs to change, but we're gonna just ride it out right now, man. But before we go, Jordan, I want to leave with one more thing. I need a bold prediction, though. To give me one player on offense, one player on defense. That's going to be the X factor. Who's going to be the X factor on offense on Sunday? Who's going to be the X factor on defense? And just a little why behind it.
Ooh, that's pretty interesting. You have to think about it for a second.
Yeah, take your time. Take your time, man.
I mean, we really haven't been turning to a couple guys, and I don't think it'll change. My dad threw up Josh Oliver. I was really tempted to say that.
Okay.
You know, I'm gonna say Xavier Scott for me.
Let's
My dad says
go.
Josh Oliver, and for defense, I'm gonna say Eric Wilson. That guy has been a dog. And
Let's go.
before Isaiah Rodgers started those punch outs, which were awesome, but now
Yeah.
the defense looks like they're more focused on trying to punch the ball out instead of actually
Tackle.
tackling. So
Thank you, bro.
yards after contact have been terrible,
I'm
just like the
telling you.
last 2 years. Fuck, we're the worst team at that. I
Not
need the
everybody's
numbers.
peanut. Yeah.
I need the numbers, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna say Eric Wilson because before Rodgers was doing it, Wilson has been the dog, and he got a couple before him. I put Eric Wilson, Xavier Scott.
Okay, Eric. Well, I like that, man. Hey, that's a good combo. I'm gonna go offense. I'm gonna go fuck. I'm gonna go Jalen Naylor on offense. I feel like Jalen Naylor is going to have a breakout game. I don't know why. My reasoning is just because it just seems like, I'll say this, every year he always has at least one where it's like, damn, boy was balling. Like, got a touchdown, maybe close to 100 yards, never really cracks 100, but, a little 89 yards, touch and a touchdown.
Actually, I think he got 99 and 23.
I was about
close.
to say, like, he gets close. He always gets damn close. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say he's gonna get close again, and he's gonna score a touchdown on Sunday. So that's my offensive of X factor. My defense, I'm gonna go with damn boy. I want you. Everybody knows I'm on Okuda watch, but he's been breaking my heart a little bit. Although that wasn't bad defense. I mean, he got caught on, but he was there. You know what I mean? He was there. I think it was a better catch. But that's neither here nor there. I'm gonna go with
was that the DK Metcalf catch?
Yeah.
For 80 yards?
No,
Man,
that wasn't that one. No, that was
okay.
it was like
because I was about to say that was Pace who blew that.
Yeah,
coverage.
no, that was Pace.
Pace.
It was a different catch on the sideline where Okuda had his back turned and he was there and put his arm up and shit. It just couldn't, just a better play made by the offensive player, in my opinion. You probably couldn't play much better defense unless you turned your head around. That's one thing I'll give him. He should have turned his head around. But
so Jalen Naylor, and you're saying him or no?
Man, it's like I want to go with him, but you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna go Okuda, man. I'm gonna go Jalen Naylor and Okuda, man. Okuda's gonna finally make me look good. I'm gonna be able to go on the Monday Purple Parlor show and pop my shit to Randy and SK and tell them, I told you, it just took him a month, but he's here now. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
I mean, he was looking good in a couple preseason games.
Yeah, he looked bad, man. He didn't look bad. He just needs to warm up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We'll see, man. I think we got some good ones, man. Wilson and Scott, and then we got Naylor and Okuda. We got players that a lot of people don't tend to go to be X factors. Everybody goes to the obvious for obvious reasons, but hey, look, man, we gonna go them ways, man. We're gonna see what happens, and we'll touch back on this. Jordan, I want to say, let's not make this be the last time. I definitely want to touch base again, man, and we'll let a couple games go by so we can build it back up and we can revisit all of our conversation that we had tonight and see where we're at.
Hey, yo,
I mean?
Absolutely.
Sure.
I appreciate you. I appreciate Gary for reaching out and helping, giving me this invitation.
Absolutely.
And man, when you got that text from me during the middle of the Vikings ass showing on Sunday, I bet you knew I just had to come out and say it because I couldn't stand it no more.
I'm telling you, bro.
But it's been great. I really appreciate you. And I also appreciate the audience's time, the whole community, everybody. I appreciate your time.
Absolutely, man. And we appreciate
I hope that I
man.
respected that time.
Man, listen, bro. You did, bro. And this was, again, I think this was a show for the books for sure. This is one of those, you got to go watch it again and really listen to what Jordan was talking about and touching on, man. And everybody, man, hey, drop a skull in the chat, man, for a great show tonight. We definitely appreciate you guys, man. Thank you guys so much for kicking it with us tonight on this Wednesday, talking Vikings football. And Jordan, man, we will definitely do this again, brother. This is not the end of the journey, man. Let's go, man. Skol Vikes, baby.
Let's go.
Let's go.